Hello, I'm Mary Director and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I have a blog. It's www.KreatesKards.com. It's loaded with videos, photos, and all kinds of detailed information about Stampin' Up! Products. I also have an official Stampin' Up! Website where you can purchase Stampin' Up! Products. It's marydirector.stampinup.net. I'll bring this back at the end of the video. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you step by step how to make this card. It's actually somewhat of a case from Sarah's Stamp Lab 2012. One of my downline found the card online. It was a thank you card and wasn't sure how to create it on her own. So I decided I would go ahead and do a video to show all of you how to do it. Mine's a little different than Sarah's, but same principles, so I'm going to consider it a case. What I'm going to do first is go a little bit over the products that I'm going to use. Stampin' Up! Classic ink in Real Red, mini glue dots, a stamping sponge. Now the sponges are circles. I cut them into 6 pieces like you would a pie wedge. Lasts longer and also very easy to clean. I'm using the Brights Candy Dots. Love this new product. Works great. I'm using 2 stamp sets. The first one is You're Amazing, and I'm using the Happy Birthday stamp out of it. I'm also using Delicate Doilies, and I'm using this stamp out of it. Snail adhesive, a button from one of our button sets, the clear blocks. This is size D. I actually have 2 of them, and so I already have the stamps mounted. A 2 3/4 scallop circle punch, and also the 5-petal flower punch. I will double check on the official name of that and will include it with the directions that are on my blog. I'm using Real Red cardstock, Whisper White cardstock, my bone folder. I'm also using the Deco Labels Framelets, which is this set here, and this is the one that I'm using is this here. I'm also going to use the embossing folder called Textured Impressions Perfect Polka Dots. This is the paper and this is the actual folder. It gives it a Swiss dot look on our background, which is just great. Perfect for the card we're making. I've gone ahead, I've already cut my pieces. This is a piece of Whisper White that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. Scrap piece of Real Red cardstock. My stamped image from Delicate Doilies on Whisper White. My Happy Birthday stamp from Your Amazing stamp set. Okay, so I'm going to set these aside. What I'm going to do first is I've already gone and stamped the images. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to do our big shot items. I'm going to take the piece of Whisper White that's 4 inches by 5 1/4. I'm going to center it in our embossing folder. Get my big shot. Okay. I'm going to take the cutting pads, and as you can see, these are really well marked, well loved. You can use these cutting plates until they actually crack. So it's amazing how long you can use them. I've used mine well over a year on each set that I've owned, so it's definitely a long-term product. And I'm just a minute here. It looks like I've got a little bit of thread, and if you don't, it's actually static electricity here. if I had left it in, it actually would embed itself into the embossed image, and I don't want that. Okay, I've got this on tab 1, cutting pad, embossing folder with cardstock, another cutting pad. I'm going to crank this through. Okay. And you just take it out, and hopefully you can see the embossing on it. If not, there will be a close-up picture on my blog. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the new magnetic platform. This platform doesn't have any tabs on it, and it is actual magnet in here. I'm going to put down a cutting pad and my image that I want to cut. Again, this is ridge side down. I'm going to get this exactly as I want it. And then I want to show you, even though these are a little bit warped, I did start out with brand new plates when I bought the magnetic plate here. But even though they're warped a little bit, as you can see, it still is holding. It's the magnet that's holding that, and it will hold your item in place, and it's just wonderful for perfect cutting. Fantastic product, absolutely love it. Just remember though, this is a magnet, so if you put your craft supplies in a tote bag and then put your purse on top, and you have your cell phone in there, you have any type of electronic equipment, magnets can scramble them, so you could absolutely ruin your phone or that. So be careful. Don't store anything that's electronic by or on top of these plates. They work the same way. You just crank it through. I did this one day, and I actually had 9 different framelits on this plate. It was great. They all stayed in place. I was able to cut exactly what I needed. Okay, then I'm just going to punch this out. And just remember that this actually sticks in here until you pull it off. So be careful that you don't lose any of your framelits as a result. Okay, we'll put this aside. I've already scored my cardstock. This is a half a sheet that is 8.5 by 5.5. So it was an 8 by 11 that I cut in half at the 5.5 inch mark. I've already scored it at 4 1/4. I'm going to go up and over, and it makes it so much easier when it already has a score mark. I'm going to take the bone folder and hold it flat to go across. If you do it like this, you may get a ridge mark in here or markings from the bone folder. So this will give you a nice crisp fold. We're now going to take our embossed piece. I'm going to use some of the snail, and I'm just going to do the 4 sides with a little bit in the middle. You just want to make sure that this adheres well so that the edges won't come up. And just a little bit in the middle. Then I'm going to place it. My fold is facing you so that I'm centering it on my side here. Okay, so you center it so we've got a frame all the way down. I press a little bit. If you press too hard, you will take some of the embossing out. So there we are so far. Next, I'm going to take my real red cardstock, and I'm just going to punch one scallop circle out of it. Now, in the card that I have as my sample, I've put it about midway, This one, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it up just a little bit higher. Totally up to you though. I'm going to take some snail adhesive and I'm going to put this on my card. Next, I'm going to take my stamped image. Again, I did this with Real Red. And I'm going to take my 5-petal flower and put it here. I want to center this, I guess you'd call it a gyro, in the middle. If you had printed designer series paper and it was red, or whatever color you're using, this could be done in any color, you absolutely could punch out designer series paper and have it work really well. Okay, so I'm going to punch that out. And then using snail adhesive again, I'm just going to put that in the center. You could use a dimensional if you want. Because there's a button on this, I usually don't use the dimensionals because it'll get it a little bit too high for it to be mailed. And then I'm taking my dark red button here. And with the buttons, I like to use the miniature glue dots. And what I'm doing is just putting the button up against the glue dots. I put about 3 on, and then I'm going to center it. Okay, here's what we have so far. Next, I'm going to take our happy birthday, and I want to sponge it so it stands out a little bit. So I'm just going to take my sponge and gently go over it. You don't need a lot. And I'm going to go down the sides. And if you hold it this way, you'll get more ink. If you hold it straight up and down, it'll just do the edge. So I just kind of do halfway there because I want the red to show up. Gives it a really nice accent. Now this one you could either put on here with your dimensionals, or you could just use adhesive. I'm going to go ahead and do the adhesive this time. Okay, and then I'm going to put this down in the corner. Gently tap the back so I don't smear any of the ink. Here we go. Now I'm going to take the glue dots, I'm sorry, it's not glue dots, they're candy dots. And I'm going to take the red ones. What I found the easiest is to put the first one in the middle, and then that gives me a center point. And then match up the other 2 sides from there. And there we have the finished card. Quick and easy. Here's the original one. Here's the one I made. This is the one I made today. You could switch them out with different sentiments. You could do them with any color you wanted. You could accent with designer series paper instead of using the stamp set like I did. If you don't have the stamp sets that I have or the paper punches I have, don't worry, improvise. Use this just as a blueprint or a map for your creativity. Build from it. Hope you enjoyed the card tutorial today, and thank you for stopping by. Again, my blog, and the video will be on my blog along with the descriptions. My blog is www.KreatesKards.com. My Stampin' Up! Website, if you'd like to purchase product, is marydirector.stampinup.net. Thank you again. I appreciate it.